What's up, guys? Welcome to Burnout Talk. Today, I've got a very special guest for you, James Elliot, and I'm excited for you guys to meet him. I'm excited for you guys to hear his story, and I like to jest. So let's get started on Real Men Talk.
Welcome to Real Men Talk, discussing the tough issues facing men and their families every day. Here's Anthony Kernot and Carla Sau.
All right, guys, what's up, James?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Not a whole lot. Hey, why don't you just introduce yourself real quick? You know, I know this interview is not going to be super long, so just kind of give everybody the 30,000 feet view.
Sounds good. Well, I do a couple things, but really helping business owners grow their business, make more money, especially coaches, consultants, and practitioners, really helping them, make more money, grow their business while avoiding things like burnout, overwhelm, exhaustion, self-doubt, and also imposter syndrome. All the stuff that kills us and prevents us from growing and really enjoying it, let alone working remotely, which is what I love to do, working from anywhere in the world while traveling. That's what I love to do. So in a nutshell, that's what I do. I also train and certify coaches as well. So this will be a really cool interview, and I'm happy to give a perspective from that perspective as well. But really helping, like I said, coaches, consultants, practitioners become more successful. Yes, make more money, but also be a heck of a lot more fulfilled, happier, and healthier.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one of the things that I learned whenever I first started just dabbling about getting into like the coaching program, building a coaching program, all that good stuff was somebody told me, they said, if you're going to coach, get a coach. Mm-hmm. And I, at first I didn't really understand that, but the deeper I get into this, I understand why, right? And I compared it to a football team, right? When, you see people out there, Patrick Mahomes, he's the Kansas City Chiefs, right? He has a quarterback coach, right? Every player that you see has got a coach specific for their position. You have defensive coaches, you have offensive coaches, you have, running back coaches, all those different things. So if you're going to be successful in life, it is wise to get a coach. Right, it's wise to get a perspective outside of yourself, somebody that you give the authority to correct you, to build you, to help you. Right, let's expand on that a little bit.
Yeah, and I would agree. I mean, even like Warren Buffett, he has a coach. Michael Jordan has a coach. Even the founders of I think Google, Facebook, and I think it was Twitter. I believe it was who was his name? Anyways, he's called trillion dollar coach. I can't remember his name. But they had the same coach, ironically. But they all had a coach. All these amazing, and gentlemen, you just mentioned too. We all have mentors and coaches. Even Arnold Schwarzenegger. In an interview, someone said, you're a self-made man. What do you think? Blah blah blah. He's wait. Let's stop. He's like, I am the opposite of a self-made man. Not sure what gave you that impression. I'm not a self-made man. I've had many people help me, support me, lift me up, and it took a team as well. And I think people need to realize that. And some people try to do things. I mean, sometimes us men are a little hard-headed, and we try to do things all on our own, not ask for directions or help, or not be open or vulnerable. And heaven forbid, I'm not perfect, or I need to ask a question, or I have to ask something. But it's toxic, and it harms us. Is no one is wildly successful on their own. I have a team of like 30 people, and it's amazing. And no one is wildly successful on. And at least of all me, I couldn't. Oh my gosh, the amount of hours I would have to invent hours in the day to do even half of what all my people do, and it's bananas. But going back to your central point, I think it's so important that people have mentors, have coaches. No matter where you are in life. I've done 25, 30 years of work on myself. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. Often, so the people I work with don't have to do that. I've spent, 25, 30 years, again, so people often don't have to do that, how work with me. And you're the same way, right? People that come to work with you, they don't have to go through the heartache and heartbreak and time, money, energy. They can just come for you. You're the shortcut. I'm the shortcut. And I always joke, I say, beware of a coach without a coach, because they're not growing. They're not learning anything new potentially. Who's kicking their butt? Who's holding them accountable? Who's making sure they move forward? And as they move forward and learn more, they bring their clients forward and up. And the whole, a rising tide floats all boats is the saying.
Right. Yes.
If there's no rising tide, well, all the boats are not going to float.
That's right.
So I think that's to answer your question, it's critical. And as someone who also trains coaches, I was a master trainer apprentice for 5 years. Someone who trains coaches, and it credits them naturally. It's just I've seen coaches and mentors with no coaches and mentors, or who stopped working with someone, and I've seen people with a coach and mentor. And yes, it costs time, money, and energy, but also it'll get you back time, money, energy.
Right.
And I tell people you can either, your goals, your dreams have a price. You can either pay the price now with time, money, and energy, or you'll end up paying later, either with more time, more energy, more money, because it's later, and or you can do the preventative maintenance now, or you're going to pay the ultimate price, which is a life unlived and not achieving what you want. And getting a great coach, because we're not all created equal, and I think you know that too. That is one of the best, most amazing investments you can do to create certainty of your future success. There's not a lot of certainty in life, in anything these days. Create your own certainty with, we were talking on your podcast about your identity. Know who you are and not identify with your not have your identity in your job, in your work, in your business, in your relationship, in your friends, in your spouse, in your kids. Have your identity in you. Preferably also one identity or a connection, at least with a higher power or some kind of spiritual connection as well. And have your identity within you. It can be very dangerous not to. Honestly, but really look at that and help create that certainty, which a great coach will also help remind you of that and help you create certainty even during times of uncertainty.
Right.
I speak a lot on that, how to create certainty or how to have certainty in times of uncertainty. Create your own certainty by doing certain things, taking action, owning what you got, taking responsibility for what 100%. You want versus the blame, the shame, I'm so this and that, or I'm suck, or they suck, or this environment, or the government, or the economy, or it's my parents, or my friends, or my customers, and these people are all this and that. Stop. It's like take responsibility, and again, take ownership, and then also take charge and control of your identity. Who are you? And those things have such a stable rock, if you will, that nothing that happens might throw you off your game, but it'll never keep you down permanently.
Right. 100%. Something I talk about on our podcast consistently is everybody needs 3 people in their life consistently, right? You need a Paul, somebody who's going to pour into you, somebody who's going to coach you, who's going to kick you in the seat of the pants when you need it, all that good stuff. Somebody you give permission, right, to have authority over you. Both spiritually, emotionally, mentally, right? Everybody needs a Timothy, somebody that you're pouring into, that you're coaching, that keeps you accountable, that keeps you right. And then everybody needs a Barnabas, right? Everybody needs a friend that to lean on, to do life with. Everybody needs those 3 things in their life, and consistently. And sometimes those things will change, right? The idea is that the Timothy will outgrow you. Right, they'll become something great. You will outgrow your Paul, right? Yeah. And consistently growing, right? But there's always somebody. I'm sure you've heard the analogy. There's always somebody bigger in the yard, right? There's always a bigger dog, right? Well, there's always somebody smarter than you. There's always somebody who's been where you've been, right? And so you seek out those people that will help get you to the next level. One of the best things I've ever heard. That I really put to practice was, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yes, hell yeah. Exactly.
And so to say, to be like, hey, I'm not. And it's not not a prideful thing, right?
No,
you know what I mean? But I can't grow here, right? Your friends may be there. That doesn't mean that you can't revisit that, right? It doesn't mean that you can't be friends with them, all that good stuff. But if you're looking to grow, and we should all be looking to grow consistently, because if you're not growing, you're dying. There's no neutrality, right? And so, man, we all need those people for us to glean off of and for us to learn from and stuff. And so coaching is such a major part of that.
It's huge. And like you said, not only rather leading you forward, but you like that accountability. It's having someone that cares enough to kick your butt. And it's not about, oftentimes people's fear people's being too nice or not taking a leadership role, whether you're coaching, whether you're a parent, a friend, or whatever, it's often their fear of rejection, their own fear of rejection, and needing to deal with that and one way to deal with that is to work on yourself, see a coach, but also own your identity. And it's not, well, my identity's in these friends. What if I lose them? Well, then I'm nothing. Well, then of course you're not going to kick your friend's butt and call them BS or your family or whatever. But again, going back to owning who you are, owning your identity, not having it placed externally in anything. Well, my identity is when these men pay attention, when these women pay attention, or when whatever. My kids say they love me. No, my identity is here, and I'm secure. I'm like a rock in my identity, who I am. And yes, I want my kids to say I love you. I want my wife or my husband or whatever. But whoever someone is, their kids or wife or whatever. But I think it's very, very important, like you said, to be able to be such a rock and a foundation yourself that yes, you can kick someone's butt in a loving, caring way without worrying. What if they don't like me? What if they get mad? What if they say? Yeah, and they may, and that's okay.
Well, it's one of those things you can't teach what you don't know, right? Yeah. And therefore, if you are lost in your identity, if you don't know, if you're a father, as a matter of fact, it was funny. I was just talking to my second oldest. He was here a while ago. We were talking about identity and the identity problem in the American church, and we were talking about how. I tried to instill identity in them, right? I can only do that if I am firm in my own identity, right? I was not always that way. I was not always capable of doing that. Me growing as a leader, right? As a father, as a husband, me consistently learning, me consistently trying to get better, right? Gave me the tools I needed to help them build a foundation. They were never one for, to seek out, these wild friendships, or they're never one to, so-and-so left me, they're not friends with me anymore, and stuff like that. They didn't care. They didn't care who they were friends with, they knew who they were. And I could only build that once I first learned it, right? And so if you're going to be a good leader, if you're going to teach somebody else, the most important thing that you could ever teach somebody, you could ever give somebody is a foundation to grow on. It's like that old saying, you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, you teach him how to fish, you'll feed him for a lifetime, right? It's the same thing. If you can help them build a foundation, they can grow themselves. And hopefully they will outgrow you, right?
Yeah, agreed. I'm hoping lots of people outgrow me. Exactly.
Yeah. And so
I grew up my coaches, and we're all growing versus, some people want to keep people down artificially, bring them down, keep them down. I've even seen some coaches do that too, just still stuck in their stuff and not fully working on their stuff. To your point, it's to keep growing and outgrow your coaches. And I celebrate that. I want to learn from everyone. My clients, I learn from my nieces and nephews. The ego has been retired in me in a good way. I mean, you need that I guess that ego part that says I am awesome, I'm confident, I can help you.
The drive.
Don't avoid trying to mess with me or trick me or whatever, cheat me, because I will say no, I will stand up. But dropping the I guess the BS part of the ego,
right,
and being willing to grow, I think is a key, a very authentic thing to do. Again, going back to why it's important to have a coach and why a coach need a coach as well. I mean, it's important to have a coach, as a client, as a leader, as a father, husband, wife, spouse, kid, you name it. Lion trainer, leopard, whatever it is,
right.
Have a coach. Otherwise, I think you have no one to ask, oh, what do I do if this happens? What if that happens? Or to lift you up during the hardest of days or the hardest of times. And you and I have been through a lot of hard times and hard stuff too, Anthony. And I'm glad I had people, friends, family, mentors to lift me up.
100%.
My God, I don't know what would happen if I didn't. But yeah, brother, it's I think going back to the central point of yes, always have a mentor, have a coach, or several. I usually have one for business, one for personal, because they both give me so much. And a complete kind of perspective as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're a sum total of the people you surround yourself with.
You sure are.
Right?
Heck yeah.
And so to keep that in mind, you know what I mean? And I think that's a problem with some people inside the church, right? They expect, that they have pastors and they have, all this stuff, and they just expect these people to do this. Well, what happens when you outgrow them? Where do you go? Right? Or if you just, you just want to sit underneath them for the rest of your life. And don't get me wrong, I'm a huge advocate for church, right? Right. That's not where I'm going here. But, they just expect everything for free. It's one of the problems with the churches, right? They just expect everything for free. Well, the thing is that this stuff costs money, right? If you want a coach, you're going to have to spend money on a coach, right? If you want, that's right. You don't think that Patrick Mahomes gets a coach for free? He pays for that, right? He pays for that. He pays, I bet, millions of dollars on coaching. On multiple coaches, right? And not only coach for, quarterback, but his fitness coach and his whatever they do, you know what I mean? Ballerina school or whatever football does, but to help them, in all those different areas. And so, if you are really looking to achieve, if you're really looking to grow, and we should all be looking to grow, right? I'm not saying that the average Joe like me should go out there and spend millions of dollars on coaches, but it doesn't mean that it's not valuable, correct, right? It's not valuable, and so yeah,
like you said, it's that growth, and I think you're right that sometimes people, whether it's a church or a business leader or an executive or a government leader. My opinion is it happens a lot in the government because people tend to be comfortable and complacent, but anywhere, and the church probably too, that if they're not growing and that leader, that mentor, that coach of yours, whatever their title and role is in government, in church, in business, if they're not growing and leading, well, then you're going to surpass them, and then I'm where they are, I'm ahead of them. So now who's going to mentor me? And so there's a cost if they don't keep growing and investing. There's always a cost, and there's always a price, right? To anything, to doing something, to not doing something. You invest it, you pay a personal trainer, you go to gym membership, or you spend more money on healthy food, and it's expensive, or there's a cost, or that's more expensive. Is it more expensive, or is it not more expensive? Because later on in life, you're going to spend a heck of a lot more to try to get back your health than to just have a gym membership or walk half an hour a day or whatever. What does that cost, or is the cost? You're spending more money on whatever, gym or health or supplements or pharmaceuticals, or is the cost that you can't play with your kids or you can't walk outside with your spouse? There's always a cost and a price to things. And I think people really need to really be careful with the I can't afford it kind of mentality and change that to I am affording it. I never say I can't afford it anymore. I say I am affording it. If it's something I want. If I don't want it, I don't want it. I'm very open with people. It's like, no, thank you. No, thank you. I'm not interested. And when salesperson said, wait, is it a money issue? Can you not afford it? I'm like, no, I can afford it. I just don't want it. Thank you. I don't want it. Right. He's kind of he's like, whoa, because I guess he usually gets the I can't afford it. But I try to be as much integrity and honesty as I can. But it's interesting that I can't afford it is probably not your own thought anyways. As you mentioned earlier, it's programmed that I can't afford it. And the gut reaction, I can't afford it. And it's not true anyways. And you're programming yourself by what you say. So if you're always saying, I can't afford it, you're literally programming your brain to think, I can't afford it. And whatever that it is, whether it's studying something to advance at work, advance in your business, advance in your health, your religion, your spirituality, your relationships. I can't afford it. Meanwhile, people are spending gobs of money on whatever, booze or cigarettes or whatever. That's a whole other podcast too.
Yes.
I can't afford it, but what are you actually spending your money on? Yeah. But no, it's super interesting. And I say this without judge. There's zero judgment, zero attachment to people. I know we're all in different financial situations, but it's where you're prioritizing that money. Like where and where there's a will, there's a way. I mean, if you get crowdfunding, go to crowdfunding. Go out there in the world and go to GoFundMe or something. And hey, look, I'm looking to do this. I don't have enough money to do it right now. However, if you contribute to this, you'll get something from me for the gift of investing in me, so I can take this course or this program, or I can lead these kids, or I can climb this mountain, or do this race, or build this thing, or become a coach. I want to become a coach for whoever. I was telling a woman she wanted to help traumatic and battered women as well. I said, go start a GoFundMe account and offer free coaching for people who donate to give you your coaching certificate. And so, where there's a will, there's a way.
Right.
Where there's a will, there's a way. I think it's never a no. It's always a how can I versus I can't because blank. And if whether you think you can or you can't, you are correct.
Right.
So it's like my reframe for everyone is, well, how can I? Instead of I can't, or no, I can't, or but, yes, I want it, but how can I? It's how can I and how can I make this happen? And that's why I'm where I am. No matter what, I've always thought, how can I? No matter how sick or obese or depressed or chronic fatigue or no energy or no money or no anything, how can I? How can I? And that's been a change for my life as well.
Right. It's all a mental battle. All of it.
It is.
All of it's a mental battle. Every battle that we fight is in the mind. And that's so true. And it's scriptural, and the Bible talks about it, consistently. And so, James, this has been an excellent podcast. Why don't you tell everybody kind of where people can get connected with you, how they can get a hold of you? Maybe they're interested in becoming a life coach, right? Or maybe they need a coach, right? Or whatever. And so go ahead.
Right on. Right. So one of the best ways to check me out is limitless-entrepreneur.com. Got a cool new training as well. A couple of cool new trainings actually that I'll in fact, if anyone wants to comment the word freedom, I'll send you a link to a free recording that I think you're going to love on how to grow your business, make more money, but also avoid burnout, banish self-doubt, imposter syndrome, overwhelm. So you can have more friends, more time with family, travel like I love to do, working remotely, giving back, making a difference, and having more fun while you grow your business. And that's my thing. That's what I help people do. And yes, on the other hand, too, I do coach, and I'm certified internationally, accredited internationally to coach and train coaches as coaches or to train current coaches in some amazing coaching tools, which will help you get more referrals, more results, deeper interventions with clients, take your clients further and farther and faster. I won't list all the tools and modalities here, but I've done a lot of work. Like I said, I was a master trainer of coaches and of NLP for 5 years, and I've been a trainer for over 11 years now. So limitless-entrepreneur.com, check it out. You can look me up on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Just James R for Robert, and then Elliot with one T, because I'm the Scottish Elliot, ELIOT. James R. Elliot. Check me out on the socials. And it'd be a pleasure. I love what I do. I love helping people succeed and seeing people grow and succeed. And if you need a bit of accountability and tough love, we're there too, because again, I think that's what a great coach has. And if you have trouble doing that with your clients, then let's have a conversation, because there is something there that you can learn or let go of to be able to give clients, whether you're a coach or consultant or practitioner or whatever, there's something there for you it's a growth area to be able to have accountability and boundaries too, like
right,
call me at midnight kind of thing. That's an emergency. Boundaries as well as being, and again, often people with a lack of boundaries with their clients will have trouble saying no or trouble calling them out or giving accountability, and vice versa.
Right.
Lack of accountability, they're usually, oh yeah, I'm available anytime. I'll give you anything. I'll give you all the time you need. Well, that's not healthy for either of you.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely,
guys. All right. So you guys heard it from him. Go check out James Elliot and with one T. And, and so don't forget about the book, Framework for Biblical Masculinity. You'll get it on Amazon. Check us out if you guys if you guys got any questions. Email us, realmen@palacepraise.com. And as always, I want to end in a prayer. Holy Spirit, teach us to be leaders of our homes, of our communities, and of our churches, and teach us to be godly, courageous men. In Jesus' name, amen.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hooah. Right on, brother. Right on. If anyone wants to check out my book, it's called Unleash Your Power. Stand out, take action, and create the success you want. It's on Amazon. Check it out. Unleash Your Power. You reminded me, and thank you for ending with a prayer too.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, James.
Take care. Bye, bud.
been listening to Real Men Talk. If you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email, realmen@palaceofpraise.com, or visit our website at realmenministries.us. You can also message us through social media. If you're a man age 16 and up and would like to be a part of the conversation, join us at the Palace of Praise every Thursday night at 6:30 p.m. If you don't have a home church, consider joining us for worship on Sundays at 10:30 a.m. and 6 p.m. Palace of Praise is located at 1400 Herschel Best Boulevard in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. New episodes of Real Men Talk drop every Thursday at 5 p.m. on all major podcast platforms. You can also find us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, X, and Facebook. Real Men Talk is a production of Real Men Studios in cooperation with Palace Media Services.